Today we're here to talk about the new Avengers movie, the much hyped. There's been the media campaign for this movie was just all over.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It made I think $200 million its opening weekend.
I think it's the highest grossing superhero movie of all time. I think it's between right now between
Batman,
The
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So
Let's just talk about going into this movie because each of us has a story.
Right.
Because because there have not only been 4 movies leading up to this movie, but there's also been different ways where we can approach this.
Right. And there's also, I know that they're making Thor 2, they're making Iron Man 3, so this is not supposed to be the end. This is not the final battle or anything. This is just another step in the road for the Avengers, and I guess they'll, just keep making stories about it. I'm not going to be surprised if there's a Captain America 2 or a movie just for Black Widow, a movie just for Hawkeye.
Yeah, this is definitely the Marvel Cinematic Universe's epoch almost. The gateway to creating this amazing universe. And this is the first try, and it's been a great try. But I'm not going to lie, going into this movie, I was hesitant, mainly because it's an ensemble cast.
Well, and it was so hyped.
It was so hyped.
I mean, if you're on Tumblr for any amount of time or anywhere on the internet, you're going to get people talking about it so much, just raising and raising and raising that bar because the anticipation's so high. So if you go in and then you find out you don't like it, you're screwed.
And then one of the things I would like to compare this movie to is the Iron Man 2, where it also had this pretty large cast. It has Iron Man, Whiplash, it has Black Widow, it has Nick Fury, it had all these things going on in it, and it didn't turn out as well as they wanted it to. It was okay movie, but it wasn't good or great, and that proves that, an ensemble cast, you gotta be very, very careful with it.
Right, and I think the benefit it had was that it did have some movies introducing the characters. It gave the backstory. You don't go into the Avengers wondering, oh, who's Thor? Who's Loki? What's their problem? Why is Loki so mad about everything? Can he chill out? No, you already had a movie explaining all of this. So
at the same time, the movie does have a couple of sentences here and there talking about, okay, this is what happened, guys. This is what you need to know, and we'll just move on to the actual movie. So now let's move on to that.
But you're right. It has that character development built in with the previous movies.
Okay, so what did you think of the movie?
It's really hard to differentiate because you get the serious, trying to look at it very objectively, and then you have the other side where it's oh my god, you get very fanatical about it. So, I mean, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. It's not easy, but I just think it's insane. It's so cool. I think it deserved the huge opening weekend it got.
It definitely deserved the hopes. And the thing is, I grew up with the Avengers. I saw Earth's Mightiest Heroes. One of my favorite Avengers is obviously Hawkeye, and he finally got his moment, which was pretty good. And the great thing about this movie is it's a Joss Whedon film.
Yes, absolutely.
Joss Whedon definitely put every frame by frame, he worked super hard to make this movie good.
Yeah, I mean, when you had Kenneth Branagh with Thor, I think Kenneth Branagh's an amazing actor, and he's a good director, but I don't know if a superhero movie is the best project for him. If you've seen, Wallander, which is, this very serious, dry, Swedish crime drama kind of thing, it's completely different, and that's much more his element, and then you get him directing Thor, and I was just I don't know.
And Joss Whedon, he's perfect for a superhero movie.
Joss Whedon knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and the fact is, he did write for superhero comics, Astonishing X-Men for 23 issues.
I'll take your word for it.
He wrote Astonishing X-Men for, I think, almost 2 years, and it definitely shows that he has... he can write good superhero movies, and he's experienced with it.
And he's balanced it really well. I mean, going in for me, I never grew up reading comic books, and I have 2 younger brothers, so I was familiar with, with the Hulk especially. My younger brother is obsessed with the Hulk, but I wasn't going in with as much investment as someone who had gone with the comics. So he has to cater to both the people who are diehard fans from the very beginning and then new people who are trying to kind of just getting their feet in the water. They're just going because the actors are hot, but they want to know what it's about. So I thought he did a really good job just playing both fields.
Yeah, she did an amazing job playing both fields. Not only were these moments there, just he not only explained it and then moved on because he knew there were comic book fans, but there was also moments where he took a while to explain these character relationships. And one of the things how he catered to comic book fans, I believe, was the fight scenes. It was very...
Well, they were just cool anyway.
Yeah,
like, as a non-comic book fan, it's like, whoa!
It's just they're very comic book style, larger than life. And when you contrast that with something like Dark Knight Rises, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, where they're very gritty and the camera shakes, but in Avengers, they're very larger-than-life
like
comic
stylized,
book style.
kind of.
Yes, very scripted. And I really did miss those kind of just scripted fight scenes.
Right. No, I remember seeing the Hulk movie. It was like 3 Hulk movies ago or something. The one where Eric Bana plays Hulk, and they tried too hard to make it a comic. Like they had they would take the square and then move to a different square so it looked like a comic book. But I felt like that took away too much. Like this was more subtle. This was like the breathing comic book, not like, look, it's a comic book. So.
Yes, there is a difference, clear difference between a motion comic and a movie.
Right.
And this is definitely a good movie.
It's a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a movie. It's... I'm getting myself all worked up.
Well,
oh my gosh.
And the cool thing about this movie is just that there's so many talented cast
members.
members.
Yes, absolutely.
Tom Hiddleston plays an amazing Loki.
That's the Wallander thing I was talking about, the crime drama. That's where Kenneth Branagh met Tom Hiddleston, and Tom Hiddleston's also in this, and he plays another detective, and you know, I mean, he can act so well.
Actually, this is the first time that I've even noticed the name Tom Hiddleston,
and
I was surprised on how great he was as Loki, where he's this trickster, and every single time you see him smile, and he does that a lot throughout the movie, you know there's something gears moving behind his head and making his next move.
And he's not, as a villain, he's not just, I'm going to take over the world just because. And I think it helps to have the backstory again. You know that he's this very real person. Like, he's not just a mindless, you know, Dr. Evil kind of thing. Like he's really been hurt in his life, and you feel bad for him.
And the cool thing is, in the comic books, he's this chess player where he knows, I mean, not literally a chess player, but he knows all his strategic moves, and he knows exactly how to move them. Well, sometimes he does F up here and there, but here in the movie, they really do transfer that well to the movie, where you know that he has his moves planned out 3 or 4 times in advance.
Yeah, and everyone does have such a distinct personality. They aren't just, you know, faces with powers. You know, you have arrogant or annoyed, or I don't know how to describe it. Like, everyone is just so strictly them.
They are also very human.
Right.
Yeah, they are very human. And one of the cool things that Joss Whedon does with this cast of characters is the humor. It's... I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the best comedic films of this year. I laughed almost every single...
I always like Tony Stark, so he's got like a one-liner for...
It's not even Tony Stark is also amazing.
Right.
Hulk, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, and then there's Loki, Chris Hemsworth, and you see these non-comedic actors, but they are...
But it's like when you stop and really think about the situation, it is ridiculous. It should be funny. It's like, we're going to take all of these people who have nothing in common with each other. They kind of shouldn't really like each other, and like throw them together and send them on their way. And so it's like, it's awkward, but it's funny.
And Joss Whedon, what he does, one of the cool things he does is that he almost has this Shakespearean comic relief, where after every single really dark or serious moment, he has a little comedic scene, and it might
break it up.
Yeah, it might be only a couple seconds long, but it's so funny, and the entire theater just erupts in laughter.
'Cause you're relieved.
Yes.
So do you think if they make an Avengers 2, are Captain America and Iron Man finally gonna get together?
I'm sure there's a lot of
there's a lot of speculation.
I'm sure the fanfiction.net is going
exploding
with /fic of this movie.
That's an interesting thing. Like, you know, just with superhero movies in the internet age, because people can kind of take the story and do whatever they want with it. They can take it, they can start writing the fan fiction or drawing the fan art and being like, you know, these characters have affected me so much that I want them to be in a relationship with each other, even if that is impossible or ridiculous or weird.
Yeah, it's
like they have such a connection, and they feel like those characters should have a connection too.
The community does put a lot into these movies now because of the internet age, and this is a very like it's almost a community made movie because I'm sure as these Marvel Cinematic Universe was being developed, a lot of fans were also going to the internet and saying, hey, this would be cool if we have this and this. And
it looks good if you pay attention. And then you kind of, the fans feel like they're part of it.
Yeah, and obviously, look, and then one thing, I'm not going to lie, as great as the movie were, and this is just very small, like, comic book nerd little, like, things that I did not like, there's a couple things, like, in the beginning of the movie, you find Bruce Banner in Kolkata, and I was like, he's not gonna be in Kolkata, he's not gonna be in the, like, if my only complaint is small comic book nerd.
If you have to nitpick, that means there's no major problem.
If all I have to do, if I have to find something to
if you have to be like, well, in that particular frame, that was just a hair off, then it's a really good. It's a really good movie. But I think one major complaint that I had was, who were the aliens? Like in the beginning of the movie, it's pretty established that Loki's working with these aliens, but then who are these people? Maybe that's gonna be like another movie. Maybe in Thor 2 or something, we'll look closer at them.
Yeah, and the thing is, they never really explain it, and I kind of know maybe it's a Skrull, who knows? But they never really explain it, and that just bothered me throughout the movie. And in the end,
maybe they're just giving you something to wait for.
Maybe. Hopefully, that's what they're doing it for. And this is to all fans out there, especially comic book fans. There are 2 teasers in the end of the movie. Make sure you watch those. It is very important that you stay until the end of the credits. Yeah, and
I got rushed out of the theater.
Really? You didn't see the? Oh my god! Wait, did you see the first one or the?
No.
You didn't see the first or the second one? Now we gotta go back.
Okay.
Now we gotta pay the $9 and go back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and final thoughts?
Please see it. Please. If only, it doesn't matter why you see it, because every reason you're going to have will be a good reason. You know, if you're going for the action, if you're going for the special effects, if you're going because the people are attractive, they are. Like, no matter how stupid the reason is, it's worthwhile. like they picked the hottest hot people. They picked the best special effects. They got great acting. I don't know. What do you think?
This is definitely a movie to watch. It's definitely, I think, one of the first, I don't know, you're the movie guru. But I think this is one of the first big summer blockbusters, and it's going to precede bigger summer, not bigger, equal summer blockbusters like Dark Knight Rises and the new
Spider-Man reboot.
Amazing Spider-Man reboot. And this is a great start for the summer. And as a comic book fan, it has everything that you want in it. It has great relationship, great versus fight scenes between every single character that you could ever think of. Yeah. And as a comic book fan or a movie fan in general, this is
go see it with your friends. Don't make it an experience.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. And make sure you see it till the end of the movie because it is hilarious.